Good morning, everyone. It's 8:30. Thanks for jumping on this morning for our virtual special meeting here. We're going to call the meeting to order. Ms. Grahowski, will you please do a roll call?
Mr. Craig.
Here.
Mr. Estheimer.
Present.
Mr. Freitas.
Here.
Mr. Green.
Here.
Mr. Lamos, excused.
Yes.
Dr. Pomponio.
Here.
Mr. Sage.
Here.
Thank you, everyone. We have a quorum. And now if we can do a pledge of allegiance. We pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one
nation, under God, indivisible,
with liberty and
justice for all.
Thank you all. Southgate's mission statement, learning for life. Vision statement, Southgate Community Schools, the best choice for students and parents. Are there any revisions of the agenda? If not, we'll take a motion to approve the agenda.
I'd like to make a motion to approve the agenda as presented.
Thank you, Dr. I'm sorry, Mr. Green.
Just a question on the motion. Do we have to put a dollar amount on that? Of what we're spending? We're awarding a bid. Do we have to put a not to exceed or anything like that? Or is the motion good as it's written, do you think? We had that problem the other night.
Right.
I think we can say as presented.
Okay.
And it will capture what has been included in the information provided.
So just add as presented. That works.
Yeah.
The problem with that is that information has not been provided to anybody but us, to the best of my knowledge. It's not published anywhere, is it?
It depends on what Rob will cite it in his conversation, but we can also put it in the motion. That's fine too.
Yeah, I think it should be in the motion if we haven't published it publicly, like as part of an agenda or something like that. That's just my opinion.
That sounds good.
All right. So back here to item D. Did we want to revise the agenda? I don't think that we got an official motion captured, so we can.
Support.
Okay. So we have a motion by Dr. Pomponio and supported by Mr. Craig. Any further discussion? Seeing none. Ms. Grahowski, will you call the vote?
Mr. Estheimer.
Yes.
Mr. Freitas.
Yes.
Mr. Green.
Yes.
Dr. Pomponio.
Yes.
Mr. Sage.
Yes.
Mr. Craig.
Yes.
All right. Thanks, everyone. We have an agenda. Are there any citizen comments tonight? Today?
No, they're not.
All right. Going to item F, action item. So the award recommendation for structural and miscellaneous steel for the Anderson High School natatorium and weight room bid package number 2 project as presented. Do we have a motion for that?
Do you want to do a presentation, Rob? Do you want to talk about it?
Sure. Yeah, I can give a recap of the package here for you. Included for the recommendation today is for the steel contract award for the bid pack 2 project for the Anderson natatorium and weight room addition here. The package includes the Plant Moran Cressa award recommendation letter and then also the Granger Construction Company award recommendation letter. So kind of recapping, on April 20th, we issued construction documents formally to the bidders. We advertised in the local newspaper. We also posted to the required State of Michigan website. On May 20th, we received electronic bid proposals and publicly opened those. And in the ensuing days, we went through post-bid scope review meetings for the steel. Specifically, we had post-bid meetings conducted on May 24th and had various members of the steering committee project team included at those meetings. Upon completion of those scope reviews, we are looking here today to recommend Duke & Duke Services as listed in Granger Construction Company's award recommendation letter for award of the steel contract for this project. The total award recommendation here today for bid package 2 steel is for $944,520. That includes a base bid contract amount of $869,520 and an allowance for miscellaneous steel embeds to be included for $75,000 in that contract. The contract will be detailed in Granger Construction Company's standard trade contract, pending final review from legal counsel. Also included is Granger Construction Company's award recommendation letter. Summarizes again the cost. This is for the bid category 05-01 structural steel. Outlines Duke and Duke Services bid proposal there. And then they provide a table of the bids that were received. We received 4 bids for this bid category. The important thing of note here, and part of the meeting being called for today, is with steel availability right now and lead times on material. It was important to get this ordered right away, get our order in. Duke and Duke Services could provide us the steel by November if we get the order placed here immediately. Whereas the other bidders were telling us it was 40 to 50 weeks to get material. So we were looking at a March or April delivery time versus on November for this project. So that's outlined there in Granger Construction Company's recommendation letter. So that kind of summarizes the award rec for Duke and Duke Services here today.
Thank you. Any
So-
questions?
Is the motion for Granger Construction Company or Duke Services?
It would be for Granger Construction Company. The contract amendment will go to Granger and they will issue the contract to Duke and Duke Services.
Okay.
Tim, I have a question.
Yeah, Mr. Craig.
So Rob, are we going to make sure that the delivery time frame is part of this contract and that there are penalties if they don't meet it? My concern is that they're just whistling at us and telling us 20 weeks when everybody else is 40 and 50. And once we sign a contract, if there's no penalties, if they don't deliver on time, they're just going to go, oh, sorry, we wrong. So
Correct.
we're gonna have some penalties built in there, I assume.
Yeah, I will. We'll talk. We didn't have any specific penalties noted, but there will be delay claims. There's no, I don't think, a fixed dollar amount, but it would impact the schedule and delay the overall schedule, which has contract language for identifying those. So yes, we will have a delivery date confirmed in there with the lead times for November. That is definitely part of this contract award and was talked in depth at the post-bid meeting with them. So they understand the market. They know where things are at. And I mean, their exact words were to us was, we wouldn't have proposed on the project and given that timeline if we didn't think we could make it. So the important thing with today's meeting was getting this to them right away so that we could get in line for that. So.
Yeah. All right. Thank you.
Yep. Mr. Sage.
Yeah, I agree 100% with Mr. Craig. There has to be something in writing that we know that, Rob, I know what you're saying. They wouldn't get into this agreement, but, our agreement just went up by 40%, and we were told one thing and 40%. We need something hard that we know that this isn't going to prolong.
Yep. Well, I'll get the contract. We'll review that in depth and verify what the delay claims are. I know our contract with Granger does have language in there about delays to the contract, and we'll establish those in the, they're established in the RFP and the schedule to have this pool open for school next year. So we'll have that information in there.
All right. Any other questions? Seeing none, we'll entertain a motion.
I'd like to make a motion to approve the contract award for structural and miscellaneous steel for the Anderson High School natatorium and weight room bid package number 2 project to Granger Construction Company, not to exceed $944,520.
Dr. Pomponio. Any second to that motion?
Support.
It was Mr. Green. All right. Any further comments? Seeing none, Ms. Grahowski, will you call the question?
Mr. Freitas,
Yes.
Mr. Green,
Yes.
Dr. Pomponio,
Yes.
Mr. Sage,
Yes.
Mr. Craig,
Yes.
Mr. Esthammer.
Yes. All right, motion carries.
Thank you, everyone, for meeting here today for that. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, and if there's nothing else, we'll take a motion for adjournment here.
Mr. President, I'd like to make a motion to adjourn.
Thank you, Mr. Green.
Support?
Supported by Dr. Pomponio. All right, any comments? All right, Ms. Grahowski, would call us out?
Mr. Green,
Yes.
Dr. Pomponio,
Yes.
Mr. Sage,
Yes.
Mr. Craig,
Yes.
Mr. Esthammer,
Yes.
Mr. Freitas.
Yes.
All righty, we're going. Those will be there tonight. We'll see you at the honors event.